There's rumors circulating around that Grand Theft Auto 6 could be delayed until 2026, but that's not really what I'm interested in talking about right now, because we have this other story coming out about Grand Theft Auto 6 where apparently a musician was approached by Rockstar Games in order to license one of his songs for the game soundtrack, to which he thought it was a very lowball offer, and he thinks it's ridiculous how little they were willing to offer him, given how much money the previous game made. But let's look at this story right here. This is coming from IGN. Rockstar tells Rockstar to go F yourself after extremely low offer to use hit song in GTA 6. A founding member of British synth-pop band Heaven 17 has alleged Rockstar offered the three writers of hit song Temptation $7,500 each for its use in Grand Theft Auto 6, a figure he has flat out rejected. And if you're given an offer to license one of your songs or something like that for it, yes, you're free to reject your offer, or reject the offer, give them a counter offer or some other terms. Just try to figure out, like, if they want something from you and you're willing to sell it, in this case, licensing it, which is kind of a form of selling it, well, then both sides can negotiate. But with this story, it seemed like there was like a negotiation that went on, but they just couldn't reach a deal. And it was after the deal kind of fell apart. That's when he started speaking out on social media about this. Martin Ware, founding member of Heaven 17, and before then synth pop pioneers The Human League, tweeted to tell Rockstar to go F yourself after allegedly receiving what he called an extremely low offer to use 80s classic Temptation in GTA 6. I was recently contacted by my publisher on behalf of Rockstar Games, RE, the possibility of using Temptation on the new Grand Theft Auto 6, Ware said. Naturally excited about the immense wealth that was about to head my way, I scrolled to the bottom of the email. RE, the offer, it was $7,500 for a buyout of any future royalties from the game forever. To put this in context, Grand Theft Auto 6 grossed, wait for it, $8.6 billion. Oh, but think of the exposure. Go F yourself. He says Grand Theft Auto 6 here. I think he meant Grand Theft Auto 5. It might have just been a typo, either on his part or on the part of this article, because clearly Grand Theft Auto 6 hasn't made $8.6 billion because it's not out yet. But I just want to clarify something for people who don't know, because he's talking about selling the rights to the song to Rockstar for the game. That's not really what's going to happen, or it's not like they own the song now and they can do whatever they want with it. He still owns the song. He's just selling the rights to them to use it within their game. And the reason why they're saying they're going to do maintain ownership of it forever, it's maintaining ownership for it in the game itself. That means if they didn't maintain ownership for the game, then in whatever their contract terms would be, if it's, let's say 5 years, they have a 5-year contract to use that song in the game. Well, after 5 years, they either have to renegotiate or they have to remove the song from the game. Sometimes also, if they want to do a re-release of the game or port it to the next console or whatever it is, they did that with GTA 5. So I'm assuming Rockstar is thinking ahead that they might want to port this ahead to the next generation of consoles. They don't want to have to renegotiate a contract again and relicense all the songs again. So they'd want to just do a buyout right now, just saying like, okay, you're just allowing us to use this song in this game, but he can still take the song and do whatever he wants with it because he still owns the rights. He's just allowing them to use it within their game. So I'm just kind of clarifying that, because that's ultimately what this is about. And he was saying he doesn't like that they can do that. He was more or less hoping that either they would give him more money because the previous game made so much money. He thinks he should get some of that, but he was more hoping that he would get royalties and that he would get a certain percentage of how much they actually make. Ware's tweet included a figure for money made by GTA 6, again 5, which obviously isn't out yet. Oh, okay. I think he was maybe this is saying he's expecting GTA 6 to make as much as GTA 5. I mean, that's kind of presumptuous. I'm sure this is going to make a lot of money, but I mean, you don't know whether it's going to make $8.6 billion or anything like that. But whatever, he has good reason to suspect that GTA 6 is going to make a lot of money. So that's why he's wanting royalties. Predecessor GTA 5 is the second best-selling video game of all time with an eye-watering 200 million sold. So perhaps the figure relates to an estimate of earnings from the game. Rockstar parent company Take-Two has not disclosed a GTA specific revenue figure. Where later tweeted to clarify that the $7,500 offer was $7,500 each of Temptation's 3 riders, which amounts to $22,500. So that's how much they would have to pay out, how much Rockstar would have to pay out to license that song, $22,500 or $7,500 for each of the writers of the song. Still utterly unacceptable, he added. He said he then suggested $75,000, but Rockstar allegedly rejected the counteroffer. If they'd have offered a royalty, we wouldn't have asked for any advance, Ware said. I think that's fine on his part to give them a counteroffer saying your initial one was too low. This is what I'm looking for. But I think Rockstar, they probably saw his counteroffer and were like, okay, well, we're not going to be able to meet you in the middle on that one. That's way outside of our budget. So they just decided to walk away from this. And that's understandable from my perspective, because if you really think about it, there's a lot of songs in the Grand Theft Auto games. Just out of curiosity, I went to the Wikipedia page for Grand Theft Auto 5 just to see how many songs they actually do license for it. And sure enough, it has the answer here. Grand Theft Auto 5 has an in-game radio that can tune into 16 stations, playing more than 441 tracks of licensed music. So that's a lot of music for the game. I just did the quick math a little bit ago. It's if they had like, let's say 400 songs that they're trying to license for this, and they're doing this and paying $75,000 per song, that's like $30 million. And I don't think they have it in the budget to spend $30 million just to license songs. I think what they're doing is just trying to find a bunch of stuff to populate their radio stations. It's not like this is going to be like the song of the game or the one that everyone remembers. It's just something that's on the radio stations as you're driving in the game, and that's pretty much it. So they're just looking to spend a little bit of money on a bunch of smaller unknown songs and then hoping that those artists will actually be willing to license it to the game for that little sum of money. They made him an offer. He declined that offer, and that should have been the end of it. But him going out there and trying to attack them publicly like this, I think is kind of bad form. And I think it really just has to do with the fact that kind of what it says right here, when he got the email offer from them. Naturally excited about the immense wealth that was about to head my way, I scrolled to the bottom of the email. I'll read the offer. And that's really what it is he thought he was going to get a huge payday out of this. And he realized like licensing his song is just not that valuable, or at least not to Rockstar. So he's just kind of throwing a tantrum over this whole thing and trying to make it seem like Rockstar's the bad guy. It's like, you're not a bad guy by saying like, I'm willing to pay this for what you have to sell, and they say that's too little for what I'm willing to sell it for, then okay, they can walk away from this. I mean, trying to say like, oh, well, the last game made $8.6 billion. So sure enough, you should be able to pay a little bit more. It's like, well, yeah, possibly, but we don't know that that's the case. And just because it made that much money, that doesn't necessarily mean it's strictly because of the soundtrack. I mean, how do you really equate that? So maybe that's what the whole royalty aspect of it is, but it's a lot simpler just from Rockstar's perspective, just to license these songs to buy out, and maybe exposure. He doesn't care about that because he doesn't think it's really going to generate any money. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of songs that kind of saw a resurgence because of their plays in Grand Theft Auto games of the past. So there could be money generated from that, but since you can't really quantify that ahead of time, you don't know how successful it's going to be. So you just want to have your payday up front. And apparently Rockstar is just not willing to deal with that right now. And I think they're free to make that decision. He's free to not accept their offer. Like I said, though, it just kind of seems petty, though. He's trying to go after them like this, though. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Who do you think is right here in this situation? And how much do you actually think licensed music should go for when it comes to games like this? Do you think royalties should be paid out? Or do you think actually just having a flat fee up front is a fair offer? Comment below, and if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And if you can, click that like button and share this video out there because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.